For many decades, the Indian personal care market relied on one single dominating concept, the all-purpose cream. These thick lotions claimed to moisturize, brighten, and heal simultaneously. However, the chemistry required to treat acne is often incompatible with the ingredients used for deep hydration, resulting in formulations that were too generalized to be effective. This lack of specialization is particularly problematic in the Indian climate. In cities like Delhi, heavy urban smog and particulate matter aggressively clog pores and degrade the skin's outer defenses. Intense daily heat and extreme UV exposure add a second layer of hostility. Protecting skin in these conditions requires physical barriers and stable filters, rather than a simple layer of moisture. A generic, heavy cream applied over sweat and trapped pollution creates a film that exacerbates skin damage instead of solving it. The transition away from those heavy jars was driven by cheap data. Widespread smartphone adoption gave consumers immediate access to global dermatological research. This access allowed influencers and medical professionals to bypass traditional advertising, educating the public on specific chemical compounds and how they interact with skin tissue. Consumers began seeking out active ingredients, solutions like niacinamide for oil control or ceramides for barrier repair. As this knowledge spread, the market for generic jars collapsed. Buyers moved toward hyper-specific, scientifically backed formulas designed for their exact concerns. Dot & Key responded by abandoning the search for a single hero product. Instead, they built an interconnected portfolio of specialized tools designed to work in sequence. This pivot solved the chemistry problem, but it introduced a new business challenge. How does a brand convince a consumer to replace a $2 jar with a 5-step routine that costs 5 times as much? The strategy begins with the lowest risk entry points, everyday foundational products like cleansers and basic moisturizers. For a humid climate, Dot & Key formulates these as lightweight gels. They are designed to wash away the daily accumulation of dirt and sweat without stripping the skin's natural oils. This cross-section shows the intended effect. The cleanser sweeps away surface debris while leaving the underlying lipid layer intact. As the lipid layer strengthens, the skin becomes biologically stabilized, creating a surface that can safely absorb more intense chemical treatments. These basic washes carry lower profit margins, but they serve a strategic purpose. Once a customer sees that the foundation of the routine is safe and effective, they are more likely to invest in the more expensive specialized stages. That investment happens at step 2. Active serums. These serums serve as delivery mechanisms for high concentrations of the specific ingredients the consumer researched online. Whether it is a vitamin C serum for brightening or salicylic acid for acne, these formulas are engineered to deliver fast, visible results for stubborn issues. When a specific skin concern shows rapid improvement, the consumer's relationship with the brand changes from basic hygiene toward a perception of medical-grade trust. Serums function as the portfolio's scientific anchor, positioning the brand as a provider of targeted clinical solutions rather than generic cosmetics. With the customer now invested in their results, the brand introduces the most economically vital step, UV protection. Historically, Indian consumers avoided sunscreen due to heavy, sweaty formulas that left a visible white cast on darker skin. Dot & Key eliminated this friction by engineering invisible, fast-absorbing formulas. By making the product comfortable for all-day wear, they ensured it became a daily habit. This timeline highlights the business logic. A small serum bottle lasts months, but effective sun protection requires generous daily application. The sunscreen empties quickly. To protect their serum progress, users enter a predictable loop of high-frequency repeat purchases. Sunscreen acts as the high-volume engine of the ecosystem, transforming the occasional shopper into a daily, recurring revenue stream. Once the facial routine is established, the brand expands horizontally into hair care, body care, and internal wellness supplements. This expansion leverages the credibility established in earlier steps. A consumer who trusts the brand's serums is statistically more likely to adopt their hair masks or supplements. This strategy is designed to maximize the average order value, the total amount spent during a single transaction. The digital receipt populates: cleanser, serum, sunscreen, and hair mask. Revenue multiplies because they buy a full system. The consumer is now contained within the brand's ecosystem for their entire physical maintenance routine. In the modern market, dominance isn't achieved just by selling a better chemical. It is achieved by engineering an integrated daily routine that becomes difficult for the consumer to break.